Hello everyone and welcome to another video with me, Rays, and today it's all about those future banners. Yeah, I did my video last night about the Odin banner as well as, JP live recap, but I want to talk a little bit about future banners and some of the improvements that are being made to them as well as characters that you should be looking out into the future. So, when it comes to who is next for Global, it should be Miranda. Miranda should be the next UR unit. She is a water-based red mage. She's pretty darn strong, but heck, for the next while, there's going to be a continuation of strong units. Strong for different reasons. They don't out-power creep directly a ton of old units, more just the utility of their kits in PvP kind of makes a big difference, but they are still, good for other content. What I'm trying to say is that War of the Visions is not a game where you should ever look to collect all units, especially if you're not spending a ton of money. This isn't like the real world where, for example, you can just get a ton of amiibos or whatever, and they're pretty cheap. Votive characters, Dusty, are expensive, and people have figured that out by now. And limited time characters are especially expensive in a short period because you need to get a ton of shards to get them. But heck, even on JP, we are now seeing the first 100 cost unit. That's right, the new version of Stern is going to be 100 cost. What does that mean? Well, it should mean a general indication of strength. And it's not a limited time unit that I'm aware of at the time of this recording, so probably not a big worry, unlike maybe your Agrius or Delita that you guys are potentially thinking about. But there should be something to note about any story character, and a lot of the characters coming up until Final Fantasy Tactics Part 2 or Warrior of Light are not limited time characters. Here you have an option to get character shards over a long period of time, and farming 2 per day may not be ideal, but let me tell you, it's potentially a lot better than spending all of your resources when there are other units you want to get, or just spending a ton of money. That trying to 100% a unit should only ever be for a limited time unit, and really at this point, there's 2 to consider for the future. Warrior of Light, who is definitely strong, but will have his extreme limitations in the near future, as well as Final Fantasy Tactics Part 2, which maybe you're finishing up your Landu or your Amza, or also you might be, looking to add the Delita or Agrius to your kit. But here comes now Stern, a very strong unit, and he's going to be a Warrior of Light killer, and this is a thing. When it comes to the conversation about PvP in this game, it's always about a counter, and the only option really is to, you have 2 options as a player. One, you can buy, purchase, and get every single unit in the game and get every unit to max, which is pretty unfeasible and should not be something that you're even thinking about. Not even if you do spend money in this game. This game's not that good. But the other option is to pick your battles more carefully. You should not necessarily be trying to win any possible battle in the future, but rather looking at the battles you can win and doing those fights. That's far more important than just trying to throw out a ton of, just buy everything. But I digress. I'm getting a little off topic. I guess it's a rant. Stern is another unit on the JP side that does have a particular addition to it, and there are 2 really big ones. So first of all, I think that global players are familiar with the initial character shops. In those initial character shops, you have a chance to buy for 6,000 Lapis. You can buy up to 120 of character shards, and that goes a long way to getting a character up to speed, but it's definitely not enough. So here is one thing that JP has added to the game, which is a daily shard quest for one of the new characters on Banner. So for instance, Agrius or Delita each had their own, and you could, provided that you have the character, you can do this every single day for so many days and get an extra 50 character shards, which doesn't sound like a ton. That may not be your initial reaction to it, but 50 extra character shards is, you know, it's over a poll's worth of character shards. It does require you to pull early, but I think that's particularly beneficial in this game anyway. If you're going to try for a character, you're probably going to try pretty early. So for turn, if you get them day 1, 50 character shards. If you get them later, less so. And that is something that has been continually happening. Also, there's the idea of just spending Lapis in this game. And this is another thing. This can be free Lapis or it can be paid Lapis. It isn't exclusive to either one, so free-to players do benefit from this as well, where as you spend more Lapis, and this Lapis can be spent anywhere on the banner, like it can be spent in the Whimsy shop, it can be spent in just for doing polls, it can be spent in different places. It does add up to extra character shards and extra UR orbs, and again, free-to-play Lapis is an option. So max is 50,000 Lapis, obviously pretty high cost there. But you know what? If you're going to be pulling or spending the Lapis, then getting an extra bonus for it is nice. And it does, like, even if you buy the 120 of the character shards, that immediately takes you up to the 6K amount, and that is a 15 extra character shards. Again, it's just all about a game of inches in this game. Character development is slow for the most part, and you can definitely benefit. This game benefits, ironically, I would say at this point, more mid-level spenders to also benefit, like just like high level, yes, but for what you're paying for, you're not exactly getting good value. Mid-level can potentially save for a banner like this and make out like a bandit and really only have to use that character for a while. Heck, really at this point, the more I play the game, the more I consider every single story character to be somehow during their event, get them to as close to LB4 as possible, and then just slow farm. It cuts down on the Lapis cost of a character immensely. And it doesn't matter, you're going to be needing to farm job points as well as experience over a matter of time, so you might as well just chill out, relax, maybe make a cup of tea, and just enjoy. Nice. But yeah, I'll talk more about Stern tomorrow when his data is out and I've seen his full kit, and I can make a better assessment of him, whether he is truly the strongest thing that ever was, and also if his Lapis costs are doubled, because that could be a thing. This could be Gilgamesh 2.0. But regardless, talking about the units to look forward into the future, we'll start with the one that is very close is Miranda. Miranda is a water-based UR summon. She features Red Mage, Time Mage, and Paladin, meaning that she is a pretty darn tanky little mage. She also has a really nice AoE limit burst. She was one of the units I wanted at the time, but coming off the Ketone banner, it was pretty hard to have enough Lapis, and I couldn't get her off 2 pulls, so I kind of just missed her. But now I do have her. I have her up to LB3 and fully awakened, and I gotta say, she is pretty awesome, especially in the Ifrit raid. Her Magic Jammer can do a good amount of damage, and she has a good amount of HP and defense. Not even fully developed yet, so yeah, I really like Miranda, but if you were looking for the best value, if you like water-based URs, strong summon. There are a couple other water units in the future that you can also get. But in talking about this UR, happens very quickly, so might be a difficult one. She is a story unit, she is not limited, and I don't think that she has been the best in a ton of content, so enjoyable character for sure, but not mandatory. Actually, I wouldn't say anything on this list is mandatory. Next up will probably be Lucia, and Lucia is the I'm going to say this is the bigger banner of the two that come after. Main reason that I give Lucia a lot of props is because, one, she has defense piercing, she's a gunner, so she has range, she's pretty disgusting, especially against some future units in WOTV and PvP and whatnot, but either way, she's a really strong character. And there's one other thing. If I'm remembering correctly, I do believe her banner comes with Celir on it, or Thalia, or Saria. The Thunder UR, or the Thunder MR mage, who's basically like a cheap version of Medenia. This girl, she is just very, very strong. If I'm remembering the banner correctly, the Lucia banner is a solid one to go on. She can do some good stuff versus tanks, she can do some good stuff against other things, and yeah, she's just pretty strong, and the MR on the banner. Well, and the other banner that I'm going to make mention of that should be relatively shortly after, well, I would absolutely love to talk about Victoria. Victoria is super cool. I'm just going to make real quick mention of her. Victoria's banner, really, really cool Dragoon. Strong, powerful, definitely a better Dragoon than any Dragoon in the game because she has faster casting on her jump abilities, but she is not meta-defining if you are just looking for meta-defining. That's kind of overtone. The last one I want to talk about is Venera. Venera is a tank killer. She is a defense piercer. She's a thief. She has gunner abilities. She is absolutely incredible. She's also a really good dodge unit with a ton of speed. I believe that mine, in most of my party formations, with the correct card and whatnot, has about 80... what is that speed at? .97 speed. So she's a really fast unit. She ends up with a really high amount of damage dealing, especially if you can make a good weapon for her during her event. Her event comes with a dagger crafting, which it turns out is really good for a dagger unit. But yeah, LB4 with any of these characters are like LB3 minimum, as close as you can get to LB4, and then just slow ride it up to the max. Again, LB4 to LB5, I've said this in other videos, but I'll say it again so that people understand it, or hear it again. Really, LB4 to LB5, like that level 89 to 99 is really just extra stats, and that's about it. But yeah, there are a lot of good characters in WOTV. No matter who you choose, providing that you commit to the character, you can end up with a really strong character that can help you out in different content. Will it necessarily be ideal? No. Heck no. I've spent in this game, and something to remember is that I had incredibly difficult time with this Ifrit raid just because it focused on magic, and I really didn't have a super great magic option. But I was still able to get pretty far in the raid, and I'm still doing it, even if I am a little bit tired of it. So yeah, looking at, like, my best advice, I would say, is that, again, don't choose your characters to try and counter everything in PvP. Don't even really choose to pick characters that just because they are counters to things in PvP. PvP just gives you some coins, some extra resources, and different things, and it's really hard to stay up to date. But Venera, Warrior of Light, Lucia, all of these are characters that are considered maybe higher priority if you do value PvP at all. I think that the best thing is to choose the characters you like, save for their events, and don't worry about it in the meantime, because hey, even if you skip things like Odin or the twin-headed dragon summon or a whole bunch of other stuff, chances are they'll show up as a off banner anyway. Either way, your RNG is RNG and your results may vary, but definitely think more about what characters will make you enjoy this game more and will make you happier to have. And so anyway, that's all for this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and see you in the next one. Take care.